Hello! Look at this sign, by the way. How nice is this sign? Let's put that at the top of the show. Laughing is weird. Like someone does something and for some reason it makes you go, duh! It's almost like an aggressive hiccup, you know? Somebody says, poopy smelly, and you have to... Why we be doing that? Why we be laughing? I went to college. I did a bunch of projects about stand-up and comedy and why we laugh. I'm not a comedy historian. I have no degrees. I have no credentials. I'm not even funny. I'm not going to cite any of my sources because I am not smart. Don't look at me as a primary source for nothing. You fact check everything I say.
I do not know what I'm talking about, and you shouldn't believe me when I tell you anything.
That being said, let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is
the Incongruity Theory.
Oh, look at this guy walking down the hallway. I bet nothing wacky or crazy is going to happen when that guy walks down a hallway. And then a banana peel, he slips on it, and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That caught me off guard. I am surprised by the incongruity of the situation. This thing about incongruity theory is your built-in expectations about something. If you look at a situation and you expect it because of your preconceived notions that it's going to go one way, and then it doesn't go that way, waka waka. That's the incongruity theory. You see this a lot in like one-liner comics, like the purest like jokester type comics. I'm talking like Stephen Wright. I'm talking Mitch Hedberg.
And he said to me, "Did you ever fall asleep driving?" And I said, "No, I've woken up driving."
They will set up a joke, and you're like, oh, I wonder what the punchline's going to be. And then that incongruity, that like surprise of the punchline, is what catches you off guard. One example of incongruity theory, there was that viral video that was going around, remember? It was like that AA meeting where everyone's huddled around that guy, and that one guy goes,
I still love you.
do you remember what I'm talking about? I can't be that old, right? You're looking at him, and you're not expecting that noise to come out of that man's mouth, but it's going to be all stoic. He's going to be like, I'm sorry I let y'all down. And that's the incongruity theory. I think I've explained that enough. The second theory about what makes people laugh is called
the recognition of truth theory.
This one is one of my favorites, but if you lean too heavily into recognition of truth, you're a hack.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
You know, you see that a lot in a political comedy. You know, Trevor Noah will be up there and be like, Donald Trump is orange. And everyone's like,
yes, he said it. He said what I was thinking.
What a genius.
that's so true and right. You can't just say facts and then get laughs. You might get applause, but that's called clapter, and clapter is not good. Recognition of truth a lot of the times can be conflated with the fact that there is always truth in comedy. Like, you can't make a joke about something that's not true. You can't be like, isn't it so funny how the sky is red? When it's not. And then you can be like, well, that's the joke. It's a misdirection. Jake, you were just talking about incongruity. But yeah, like, no one's expecting the sky to be red. This is a bad example. I went to school for theater. But there's also people who use a lot of recognition of truth theory, the idea that something is funny because it's relatable to you, or maybe it's a new perspective that you haven't noticed before about something really, really mundane. Maybe like Jerry Seinfeld is a great example of this. Like, you ever notice this thing? I'm the only one who's noticed it. And the recognition of truth laugh comes in when you go, oh, he did notice that thing. And now I notice that thing. Now I am in on the joke. I'm in on the no. So that's the recognition of truth theory. The third theory,
the relief theory.
this is a fun one because there's like almost like two schools of thought that almost exist, and they don't realize that they're both in the business of relief theory. And that is the like everything is fair game to joke about people, and then this is some stuff that you're not allowed to joke about people, because comedians joke about horrible things. There's a long line of comedians who joke about horrible things. And one of the things is, why do we joke about horrible things? It's because we need to laugh because we need to relieve tension. That's what laughter is like you hear a joke, you know, and you're like,
Ha.
so two comedians we're going to look at this example specifically are Anthony Jeselnik and Hannah Gadsby. Their comedy styles couldn't be further different, even though they both look like the same lesbian. Look, it's Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana. Clark Kent and Superman over here. You can build tension two ways. The first way to build tension is through the joke structure itself, because your brain goes, oh, there's a joke coming. Oh, man. Oh, this guy, he's been proven to be funny so far. And I know what it sounds like when he sets up a joke. So as soon as that punchline comes, I'm gonna nut, because I know what that punchline, you know, when the punchline comes in, that's the nut. That's the relief theory. Or you could build up tension through subject matter. And you can find an example of this in comics, again, like Anthony Jeselnik, because he talks about some of the most horrible things you are supposed to talk about, and those horrible things build up the tension. Here comes the punchline. Bam. Oh, it's a joke. Oh, I'm relieved because it was a joke. And then you go over to here, you look at the Hannah Gadsby stuff. A lot of Hannah Gadsby's special on the net was all about how she, as a comedian, she builds up the tension, and then she...
break the tension.
They both set up tension with heavy subject matter and then release that tension. And in the net, Hannah Gadsby even made a point not to release the tension. She goes, you know what? This is what it feels like when I've built up tension. I don't release it. I don't pop the tension.
Too much tension.
Incongruity theory, recognition of truth theory, relief theory. The fourth theory, it's kind of my least favorite one, is the superiority theory. And the reason it's my least favorite is because it seems the most mean-spirited. The idea behind superiority theory, you're laughing at somebody else's expense. The only reason a joke is allowed to be a joke is because it's making fun of something. So let's go back to the beginning example with the guy slipping on a banana peel. Not only is that incongruent, because there's not supposed to be a banana peel there, not only is that incongruent because of that, but that's also a superiority theory because that guy fell down. Ha ha ha, look at that guy on the ground. That guy's not you. Aren't you glad you're not on the ground? You're so good not being on the ground. Not like that guy. I think you see this a lot in roasts, like the Comedy Central roasts, which I love, by the way. I hate being mean to people, like, in person. But at roasts, that's like a green light for you to be as mean as possible, and that's the whole point. Oh, that's a good time. When there's, like, no holds barred, we're all trying to be mean. We know this is all in good fun. Oh, then it's fun to be really mean. So roasts are a good time, and there is comedy in, like, making a joke at somebody's expense, whether you're punching up, punching down, punching laterally. I don't know. So I've said that superiority theory can seem inherently mean, but what's an example of somebody who used superiority theory who comes across the least mean person on the planet? Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan is so squeaky goddamn clean that he's done comedy for the Pope. The Pope. Did the Pope get it? No, but he did comedy for the Pope, so that's cool. He doesn't make jokes at somebody else's expense. He doesn't make fun of other subjects. 90% of his stand-up comes from the perspective of, look how gross, shitty, disgusting I am. Me as the speaker. Aren't I gross? Aren't I fat? Aren't I lazy? Aren't I pale? Don't I eat all the food? That's Jim Gaffigan's shtick, but the audience, they feel better. They're like, oh, I go on jogs every day. This Jim Gaffigan guy's a piece of shit. I love going to comedy. Honey! Or maybe it'll be recognition of truth. Yeah, relatable. I feel that. Also eat nothing but Hot Pockets every day. Relatable comedy. So yeah, there's multiple ways to explain away what makes people laugh and why people laugh at stuff. And a lot of the examples, kind of like Venn diagram into each other. And you could use every single type of theory about what makes somebody laugh and apply it to everything and be right. It's all subjective. That's why you feel comfortable coming up here and talking about what makes people laugh, because what's going to fact check me? Go ahead, fact check me. Yeah, do it. I dare you. But yeah, another reason why we laugh is just to bond. We seek approval. We seek kinship. We seek grouping. Everyone wants to feel like they're a part of a group, and whether they're a part of a political party or part of a cult, or they're one and the same. And you won't talk to your grandma because she voted for Trump and she's a Ravenclaw. But that's why we laugh. Is like someone can say a joke and then they're like, oh, I find that funny. Ah, ha, ha, ha. We're friends now.
Let's take on the world together, new friend.
That's why I think people do stand up is, the validation. And there's no other drug like it. Going like, hey guys, is this a good idea? In a room full of people yelling at you. Yes, we love that. Oh, cool.
Acceptance.
It's 2021. Do we have a vaccine yet? I recorded this a month ago. Have people begun to get vaccinated? Is Joe Biden the president now? Did something happen? What's going on? Future me, what's happening? It's currently mid-December. In mid-January, are things okay? They sure aren't. I appreciate you guys for watching all the way to the end. Remember to like and subscribe. Click on some of my other videos. Check out my website. Go to my Patreon. It's the link in the description. Appreciate you guys. Go outside.